So I've been wanting to talk about this movie for a while now. I just thought I'd do just hopefully a quick video sharing some of my thoughts on Tusk. Probably one of the most surprisingly enough polarizing movies of last year. You have some who'll say it's absolute garbage, one of the worst movies ever. Then others will say, "Wow, this is really awesome. It's one of Kevin Smith's best." Uh, it's almost impossible that either could be wrong. You can make an argument for both, which is kind of the curious thing about this movie. But yeah, it's worth talking about, I guess. Tusk. Now, I would consider myself a fan of Kevin Smith's work, and not everything he's done is perfect. Like I wouldn't, hold him up on the godly pedestal that some of his fans do. But for the most part, he's made some good movies, and now that he's become kind of like this podcasting figure, this podcasting celebrity, he's kind of made some more interesting choices with Red State. Very, very different than what he's made before, as well as this movie, Tusk, which was inspired by one of his own podcasts. I didn't listen to that podcast. I don't know if it would enhance the experience anymore, but essentially what he did, he went on Twitter. He's like, okay, so we talked about this stupid thing. You want me to make a movie? Twitter, hashtag Walrus, yes, is what he did. And then, everyone's like, oh, yeah, yes. Then we got this movie. Surprisingly, it's a legit movie. I mean, it absolutely is. I think it's a lot better than what it could have been. Essentially, what the movie is, it is about a podcaster. He's played by Justin Long, who's kind of this douchebag podcaster. Making fun of people, things like that. He has his buddy who podcasts with him, played by of all people, Haley Joel Osment, who's all grown up now. So really all they do is they just joke and talk about stupid shit and laugh at each other's stupid jokes, not unlike Kevin Smith's podcasts. And where the plot essentially kind of gets rolling is that Justin Long's character, he hears about this internet fad or celebrity meme, viral video, sort of like the Star Wars kid, this guy who like fucked everything up when he was like, playing with like ninja blades or whatever, and like cut his leg off. And it's kind of interesting that that's where it would kind of go towards, because like when you think about the Star Wars kid, that was like really one of like the first viral videos, and how strange it was that we all kind of were drawn to that, to making fun of this kid, which is kind of a shitty thing of all of us. But that's kind of what the movie is. It kind of looks at like the shittiness of people, and how the Justin Long character, that's not an act. He's absolutely kind of a shitty person, just a kind of an inflated ego with his podcast, and he makes all the money off it and things like that, and he cheats on his girlfriend when he's on the road doing these things. But anyway, it would turn out that the Star Wars kid essentially had killed himself. He had traveled all the way to the fabled lands of Canada, and now he has no story, nothing to do. Then he goes to the urinal in the bar. He sees this posting where I have many great stories to tell of days of yore, and it's the Michael Parks character who he visits, and that's kind of what the movie is all about. And the plot. Like, there will be spoilers in this review, but what it all amounts to is this crazy fucker played by Michael Parks. He wants to turn Justin Long into a walrus. it's I don't know. I would give it a little bit more credit than that, and just being some kind of sort of a human centipede type of satire, which it sort of is. But I think it's interesting, showing this podcasting kind of generation, this asshole douchebag generation, who has all this reach, can go on the internet, have all these fans, has the capability of telling all these wonderful stories, but he's just taking advantage of that ability to just be a douchebag and talk about stupid shit. That's not really important. I mean, that's the right of anybody on the internet. But meanwhile, we have this man in isolation in this Canadian mansion with all these incredible stories to tell, with no outlet for that. So perhaps that drives him mad without an outlet. And His kind of big story is about being lost at sea and being saved by this majestic walrus and befriending it, but then resorting to survive to have to eat the walrus, so he battles it to the death, and he kills his poor friend walrus. And what he's trying to do, as we learn that this character has done, he's kidnapped other people in the past. He's done this weird walrus experiment to other people in the past. What he's trying to do, he's trying to recreate that event so that the battle between man and walrus is corrected. That the walrus wins, because the walrus is much better than man. And when we see the example of the Justin Long character, part of us might agree with that. Though it could be anything. Walrus, monkey, whatever. Man is horrible. That's kind of the point, I guess, that this crazy old man is trying to make. So it's a very demented and stupid fucking movie. This is one of the stupidest fucking movies I've ever seen, but I love it. And there's lots of great surprises around the corner. None bigger than the Johnny Depp role, which I had heard. I had heard that he was in the movie before seeing it. So that was spoiled for me. But at the same time, I thought it would be like a cameo, like a little walk-on. No, this is... He takes over the last half of the movie as the inspector, Guy Lapointe, the French-Canadian detective. He is absolutely fucking brilliant in this movie. Just so over the top and wonderful. Like, he has kind of like hints of, the character from Inglourious Bastards, kind of like that, kind of like a Christoph Waltz villainous kind of thing, but he's a good guy in the movie, but, every scene with him is absolute gold. I think it's some of the best work that Johnny Depp has ever done. And you also have that one scene where it's like a flashback to when Guy Lapointe was so close to finding this Tusk serial killer. Meanwhile, Michael Parks, he's putting on a ruse, playing this, kind of dim-witted Canadian hick. And just that scene of them two together, those two, the acting magic, that's like worth seeing the movie alone. I think, honestly, I don't know whose idea it was to kind of keep Johnny Depp sort of uncredited, kind of as a secret, but I think it should have been marketed as, come see this movie, Johnny Depp is in it, no fucking, pale makeup, no Tim Burton stuff, this is Johnny Depp, acting magic, just great fucking stuff. I thought he was just absolutely brilliant. Him and Michael Parks, great scenes together. So yeah, I mean, you can't make an argument that this is legitimately a good movie. I mean, what it really all amounts to is that in this day and age, a fucking middle-aged stoner can ramble on about stupid shit about, I guess it was an ad they saw on Craigslist or something, and kind of make up this stupid story in their head, and then say, hey, why don't we make a movie about this? And that's kind of interesting to me, that like, this stupid conversation can result in this stupid movie. That I enjoy this movie, and I think it's great that you can have an actor like Johnny Depp in it, that you can have an actor like Michael Parks in it, that you can have Justin Long, who's probably, I mean, okay, Justin Long, he's not like the best actor in the world, but he's great in this. And Genesis Rodriguez, absolutely wonderful. She has this like one scene where she's like kind of pouring her heart. This is just like a legitimate acting scene in this movie where, she's giving this huge monologue and, tears running down her eyes. It's a beautiful scene, almost like from another movie. But that's what this movie is. It's just kind of a whole mixed melting pot of just ideas like, hey, let's make a fucking movie. So, it's kind of refreshing to see in one way. Needless to say, this is not a movie that is going to be universally acclaimed by everybody. I don't think it's an especially good movie. I don't think it's an especially bad movie. I think it's a complete oddity of a movie, which I have a lot of affection for. I think it's just really well done, actually, considering, how stupid the idea was. But at the same time, it kind of taps into kind of things, about storytellers, about humanity itself, sort of, in a really stupid, pseudo-intellectual stoner kind of way. But leave it to Kevin Smith to do that. They do have kind of an excerpt of that podcast during the ending credits, so you kind of get an idea if you're uninitiated of what where this whole idea came from. So it kind of gives you sort of an insight into that. But yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I really enjoyed the movie. I thought the highlight had to be Johnny Depp, who was absolutely brilliant. See it, if nothing else, for Johnny Depp. Again, I think they marketed it all wrong. See this movie for fucking Johnny Depp. Um, but maybe it was Johnny Depp's. It was, I'll do this movie. I don't want to be in the credits. I don't want on the advertising. And Kevin Smith was like, "What?" And he's like, "I was like, oh, okay, that's Johnny Depp." But yeah, what can I tell you? Really good movie. I give it a thumbs up, and those are my thoughts on Tusk. So I know a lot of people will, tear this movie to shreds, say it's an absolute piece of shit. But in this day and age, so many movies are just, I don't know, especially the high profile movies, which this is kind of in between independent and high profile, because Kevin Smith is a name. Like it or not, he's a brand. But so many movies are just so franchise oriented. They'll have like 10 sequels ready before the movie is even written. It's kind of refreshing to see that somewhat a Hollywood figure, if you can call Kevin Smith a Hollywood figure, can decide, I'm going to make this stupid movie, and then make it. That gives a lot of hope to viewers of films and to filmmakers themselves. That if there's an idea of any kind, don't be hesitant to make it just because it's fucking stupid. Because look at the top 10 movies on the box office right now. They're probably all stupid pieces of shit. So why not? But anyway, I've kind of gone off track here. Tusk, I think it's awesome. I highly suggest giving it a look if you're a fan of Johnny Depp, if you're a fan of Kevin Smith, or you just like bizarre movies. This is absolutely a bizarre movie, which I find irresistible. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Tusk. So thanks for watching. Comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you later.